Who is the Moonlight Boy in Berserk? Berserk's Moonlight Boy is one of the newest mysteries that Berserk has yet to explain. Luckily, there are enough known facts to establish who he is. The late Kentaro Miura's Berserk has one of the richest fantasy worlds in the manga medium, from the expansive history of its kingdoms to the fascinating magical elements of the astral world. This extends to many characters in the series' main and supporting cast, including the elusive Moonlight Boy. The mysterious young child is a relatively recent addition to the story before Miura passed, appearing in the Falcon of the Millennium Empire storyline. Major plot revelations regarding the Moonlight Boy's origins and identity have only happened recently. Though more is surely to come since Studio Gaga resumed the series under mangaka Kujimori's supervision, the Moonlight Boy already has some intriguing lore implications in Berserk's universe. The Moonlight Boy is a supernatural child who appears during full moons. Introduced without a formal name, the Moonlight Boy first appeared in episode 238 of Berserk when Guts, Casca, Skirk, Farnese, and Isidro were traveling along the shore of the port city of Vertanes. The boy was found standing in the water, with Casca instinctively rushing to care for him. That's immediately interesting in and of itself, as Casca's still suffering psychologically from the traumas inflicted by Griffith during the eclipse. Being the party's resident magic expert, Skirk instantly recognized something inherently supernatural about the Moonlight Boy. She noted that his OD, the spiritual magnetism flowing through everything in the universe, was unique from the typical humans. Skirk initially felt a sense of aggression in his OD. However, she mentions that any hostility in him was gone on their second encounter and onward. He's been depicted as mute, typically appearing during full moons and vanishing by the next morning. Aside from the Moonlight Boy's almost ethereal presence, the child's next most magical feat would happen the night of their first meeting. After taking the boy to a cabin to shelter for the night, Guts and his companions are attacked by a pack of crocodile familiars from the beach. The group's combatants take point to defend Casca and the child inside the cabin, but when a familiar attempts to enter, the Moonlight Boy's mere glare compels it to leave. Later, when Guts takes on a far larger magic beast coming from the water, the boy soothes the black swordsman out of the violent rage that happens when his berserker armor consumes him. Between triggering a maternal reaction from a traumatized Casca and almost effortlessly breaking Guts from the armor's wrath, the Moonlight Boy set up some fascinating lore implications for Berserk's world. While human, the boy has deep connections to the astral world. The astral world is one of the core components of Berserk's mythos, serving as one of three fundamental realms of the universe alongside the physical and ideal worlds. This is the plane of existence where countless creatures of magical origins and even spirits of the dead reside. Ages ago, humans in the physical world could acutely see and interact with many beings but gradually lost touch with the astral plane as magical entities and practices were ostracized. More potent supernatural forces exist in the astral world's deeper layers. What's most interesting about the Moonlight Boy is his uncanny connection between the physical and astral worlds. It's something that's taken Skirk and even the Flower Storm monarch, Danon, the Queen of Elfhelm on Skellig Island, by surprise. Berserk's main cast is still discovering the scope of the child's abilities, with Skirk linking his impressive magical qualities to how astral beings become more powerful under a full moon. The Flower Storm monarch Danon also remarks how the Moonlight Boy has an OD similar to the elves in Elfhelm, effortlessly able to enter the supernaturally guarded Skellig thanks to lacking even a trace of malice in his heart. Remarkably, he is still fundamentally human. The Moonlight Boy was able to save Guts and his companions in three major events, including the massive creature from Vertanes shore, with the other two being in the fight against the sea god. Again, the child casts a luminous version of himself to shake Guts from the berserker armor's control. In another show of his magical attunement, the boy senses where the sea god's heart is located to aid Guts and Skirk in killing it. But at perhaps the direst point in the battle, Guts loses his connection to Skirk's influence and nearly dies in the beast's body. He certainly would have if not for the Moonlight Boy's luminous body guiding him to the weak point of the sea god's heart chamber. This ability, called astral projection, is a reliable technique used by witches like Skirk and her late mentor Flora. The fact that the child is this skilled in magical practices is nothing short of astonishing. The latest reveal in the Moonlight Boy's origins is one of the most monumental revelations in Guts and Casca's lives. In episode 363, Leaping Monkey, the child visits Guts and his party on Elfhelm for a day of respite. However, come morning, he didn't disappear in the same way he usually did. In episode 364 of Berserk, Teardrop of Morning Dew from Volume 41, the chapter concludes with the Moonlight Boy maturing into Griffith's form. The reveal is almost whiplash-inducing, but it confirms that the boy is the biological child of Guts and Casca, albeit with complications along the way. Casca was pregnant with her and Guts' future child before Griffith's grand betrayal at the abhorrent eclipse during the Golden Age arc. But when Griffith, now having assumed the form of the demonic entity Femto, assaulted her, the fetus was corrupted into the figure seen in the Conviction arc. During the incarnation ceremony where Guts and his companions rescue and reunite with Casca, the figure was used as a vessel for Griffith/Femto to reincarnate into the human world. This suggests that Griffith and the Moonlight Boy share the same body, but the latter retains consciousness and can manifest into his child form during the full moon. Since the full moon acts as a sort of witching hour for astral beings, the Moonlight Boy breaks free from his and Griffith's shared body and rides the branches of the World Tree. The World Tree is the source that intertwines the physical and astral worlds in the current Fantasia arc. The tree's branches are what the Moonlight Boy uses to sense and reach the people he's truly tied to, Guts and Casca. This has been one of Berserk's most significant bombshell plot twists. It adds a new layer of context behind Guts, Casca, and Griffith's dynamic, possibly even hinting at the key to the God Hand members' defeat. More information will surely come, with fans eager to finally see Berserk's next chapter.